Hi and welcome to Radio Funtime. You'll be here with Emma Behrman, Rich Huxley, Claire Duffield, the amazing Jane Earnshaw, Sarah Mrs. Smithson, Rhymers on the end there. Taking you through from Friday morning, it's Sunday morning and as well Sunday afternoon. Today's subject is fun. I'll just press stop. It doesn't really have an ending yet. I've not written an ending.
I feel like I need extra portions of cheese. So Claire, that was a brilliant segue I just did there actually, because Claire, you're going to go on searching in Chapel Allerton for stinky cheese, aren't you?
I am. There's a very fancy cheese shop. I've always been a little bit scared to go in because I feel like I'll just spend my full wage in there. So I'm going to go in there, and Emma's dared me to ask for the stinkiest cheese they've got. I'm not sure I don't think they know I'm coming, so we'll see what their reaction is like. But yeah, I'm starting off in the graveyard today in Chapel Allerton, which is one of my favourite places because I'm a goth. I'm not really. Yes.
Are you outside your favourite grave, Claire, at the moment? Can you describe it to the listeners that are tuning in?
Yes. Oh, it's very loud here. Sorry. It's very loud all of a sudden. So there's a grave and it hosts Mr. Whitaker, who was 30 years old when he passed away. And he's now got, so then there's like maybe 4 other graves with his family around him. So I'm very intrigued about his family, and I go and sit on his grave. I asked him permission. He didn't say anything, so I took that as a yes. And I go and chat about all the modern day stuff. I might be a bit too sweary and not proper enough for his Edwardian, values, but fluffy. And so today as well, because it's Mental Health Awareness Week and the theme is nature, I thought I'd try some hammer art. I don't know if you've heard of hammer art before, but you basically pick some nice plants. So I've got a lovely book here, which is by a lady, Margaret Wilson, and she wanted to get my hammer out and destroy them on a bit of paper. And then I'm going to go to a seed swap and put the what I've made in there for people to take home. I've had a go at this before. And to be fair, I'm not very good at it, so people might not want it. Give it a go. And then it's cheese. So that's what I'm up to today. I'm very distracting, so.
And this is what we've come to know and love with Radio Funtime, is that we can all be very serious in the, flowing, talking about something, and then Claire will encounter something really distracting on her walk, and we have to just stop. Really, so it could be a swan or a dog, or in previous episodes we've had challenges for Claire, including rolling down a hill, which she was very game and did. And what else? Dizzy dogs. What else have you done?
I did a dizzy dog. I sat in a kayak. Well, I blew up a kayak in an hour. That was exhausting. And then sat on a street. Next time we're doing that, I'm going to Jane's because she's got her own kayak that she's made, or canoe. I'm not sure what the difference is. So what else? I don't want to do a dizzy dog again, ever.
What's a dizzy dog?
You spin round and round and round until you fall over. I thought as an adult I wouldn't fall over. I really did. I hit the ground really hard.
Oh.
It hurt. But it was fun.
So part of these challenges, which I'm really happy not doing myself, I might add, like the Wizard of Oz, is to sort of, I think we've agreed that there'll be no nakedness and no running. Those are the main things you have said you won't do.
Yes, no falling over now, please. As well.
So that's the third thing, but pretty much everything else goes so far.
Yeah. I'm up for it. Yeah. So if you've got a challenge, let me know. Put it in the chat. Say it out loud.
Okay, so I've got a challenge I've decided to take up myself. This not today, but I'm going to do it in future. is, I don't know if any of you have watched Glow Up, the TV program about people putting makeup on. So I'm someone who rarely wears makeup ever, and I thought it'd be quite fun to be challenged each fun time to recreate some kind of look that listeners or tweeters or whoever decides that I have to try and do. I don't have my full makeup kit with me today. I do have my family Top Beauty, I don't know if you can see this, Top Beauty palette with a very lovely range of kind of unicorny colours. So for today, I'm happy to go with, disco-y, colour, whatever. But from future, I will get the full snazaroo makeup and do whatever I'm told to. Okay, so I feel quite excited by this, I have to say. On to our guest here today, we've got Jane in her shed, and we're just in awe, I think, would be fair to say, of the orderliness, the organisational skills that I can see in your shed. It's just a thing of beauty.
The camera is pointing upwards to the tiny bit. If I pointed it the other direction, it is. I can barely move in this shed. It is so messy.
You've done a brilliant job of looking like it's the most orderly place that I think sheddies out there would be very appreciative of, and I think we need to make sure that the shed community get to see your shed.
I will show you. Let me just show you the bit of orderliness that I think you will love, Emma, because it's also got colour on it. Look at this. Look. Wait, I don't know whether you can see that.
Oh yes.
You see that? You see.
Is that where you've always got your nails and screws and things?
Yeah, look, all those clamps.
Shed porn.
Fit.
Yeah. So yeah, I do like it. I hoover my shed more than I hoover the house. That's quite that, isn't it? Yes, there are. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa's admiring my set of photos, and yeah, there's some beauties in here, Lisa. There are. Many ways.
What are you going to make today? One of this with this particular format of Jane in her shed, because we're fond of makers and creators and people who know what to do with tools. What are you going to make today?
Well, I've changed my mind. I was going to make a peg today, and then I thought actually I could do with both. This time being doubly useful to me as well. So what I am going to do today is, I realized when I was doing a bit in the garden this week that I need a tool holder on the back of my shed for my fork and things. So I'm gonna rustle up a little bit of a tool holder that I can then at the end go and attach to the outside of my shed and put some of my garden tools in. So that's what I'm going to do.
Excellent. So you think you can do that in the hour that we've got? Well, 50 minutes now.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Challenge is on. I might do less talking, and I might need to mute myself. Then you don't hear horrible talks.
Okay, that sounds brilliant, and I hold you to that challenge. Now, Rich is going to do musical cheesy interludes, I believe, as and when he feels fit.
Well, I don't know if it works for me to do. I could just do it like a little cheeky underscore. Just leave it chugging away in the background, but I don't know if that works on Zoom.
Well, we can. This is an experimental space, isn't it? So let's see what happens.
Plus, it means I can't mute myself when I need to like burp and things like that.
You can burp. Has anybody got any problems with Rich burping?
I think you should just leave it there. Has anyone got any problems with Rich?
So Lisa, you're back after making the best quiz ever on very short notice. So I'm not going to put you on the spot today, but there will be a regular request that you do more quizzes for future Radio Funtime, because you just open my eyes up to ridiculously sized art and playful objects around the world, including the world's longest hopscotch, which I'm still a little bit shocked by. What was it, 6 kilometres or something ridiculous?
Yeah, I'm not very good at remembering facts. The only one I remember, I think, and even then I think I've got 1 or 2 numbers out, was the dog on a skateboard riding through people's legs. I've asked that question to people since, and I think having the photo for the quiz was quite helpful because everyone's guesses were quite reasonable. But when I've asked it in the pub, people are like, 3,000. Like, it's a dog on a skateboard. It's not like Tony Hawk.
Is this a challenge for Claire? Get a dog on a skateboard.
Oh, nice.
Or at
I'm
least
on
in a
it.
kayak.
All right, I'll give it a go.
Khadija. Welcome to Radio Fun Time. We've got
Hello,
Khadija joining
Khadija.
us. And Khadija.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning, Khadija.
Morning.
Good morning. There
Good
might be some
morning.
names that you recognise here, Khadija, and some that you don't. You'll obviously know Claire because she invited you.
That's right.
That's right. And you might know
Hello.
Jane Earnshaw as well.
Yeah, of course. No, Jane, yeah.
So Jane's live from her shed, and she's going to be making a tool to hold her garden implements in. I think that's the right way of putting it.
Okay.
One's dog's just started my dog off. Oh, Claire is out and about in Chapel Allerton in a graveyard. So she'll be
Right.
very distracting. And then
Nice.
we're just going around sort of very gently talking to everybody, seeing how they're getting on. Rich is our resident cheesy DJ for Radio Fun Time. Lisa hasn't got a quiz today, but if you're ever looking for a quiz mistress, maestro, Lisa is able to put things together at very short notice.
Oh, hi, Lisa. So I feel
in our
I'm
last
looking a
Radio
bit-
Fun Time.
Yeah, I'm looking a bit what I literally just finished my exercise class, which is what I said to Claire, that I'll jump in, I'll wipe the sweat off my face, and I'll jump in. My front room is my office, it's my gym, it's my everything.
Is it your place of spiritual rest and contemplation as well?
Yeah, it's got an altar for remembrance. It's got books. It's got everything. I can rest here. But my resting place is my bedroom.
Oh,
Ultimately.
we won't ask you to take us this morning.
Well, into my bedroom, into my boudoir.
Maybe in the future Radio Fun Time will lead up to
Yeah.
that one. I don't know where I'm going with this. So you were mentioned in dispatches on the last Radio Fun Time we did when Claire did an owl trail hunt around Leeds. And
Okay.
there was one of the poems, I believe, that you created.
Yes.
Yes.
So long ago. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, on the owl in City Square, is it, Khadija?
Yeah, Millennium Square. Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, we've got to get Khadija on because I couldn't get it to play. So,
Yeah, you have to scan it through your phone or something like that. That's,
Yeah.
Oh, right. You're right near where my friend lives.
What
Literally, I think
now?
you just passed her. Yes, that is actually her fault. You know exactly what you want.
You can challenge Claire to do anything other than run or go naked or do a dizzy dog. So if you wanted her to go knock on your friend's door and then run away, she could do that.
Knock on that red door that she just passed.
So go knock on the red door and then run. No, don't run, hide.
Not run.
Really? Which red door?
So go back. You was just, you've gone, back away from the car. So it's that red door where it's the end house and it's got the tall wall.
This one.
Yeah.
How do I get in there? It's like a fortress. I don't.
There
How do you
should
get
be a
in there,
tree.
DJ?
Go around, there's a tree and then there's a gate.
Right.
I mean, is this sensible? Before we
the
urge
house,
Claire to do cherry
That'd
knocking,
be the house.
is this a good idea? We do a
Isn't
vote
it?
in the
Oh,
chat.
what a great view.
She
Would
wouldn't
you do
probably
this or
have
not?
to anyway.
Emma, what did you just call it? Did you say cherry knocking?
Yeah, cherry knocking. Did you call it cherry knocking when you were little?
No.
What did
What
we
did you
DJ, is
call
this
it?
a good idea?
It was probably knock knock ginger where we were.
What did you call it?
Knock knock ginger.
That's what we called it.
Why did what? Yeah,
Is
why
this a
is
good idea? Right.
A good idea.
Yeah. But apologise for me.
What do you want her to say if they come to the
Scarper?
Scarper.
Probably. And if you did, just say, Khadija said, knock at your door and run away.
I'm on the run.
Already, she's left already.
Ooh, ooh,
I don't think you even knocked at that door, Claire.
I did.
Listening.
I did.
Where
Oh my
just do that?
goodness.
Knock ginger. And if you're from Gloucestershire, which is where I'm from, we call it cherry knocking.
Why? Why is it all fruit and veg? Why we just called it knock and run because you knocked and then ran.
Yeah, I think we did as well.
Still.
Yeah, definitely.
You people do
I still do it, obviously.
Obviously, you still do it, Claire. And
I feel like I'm going to get arrested.
I've got a couple of friends that live around there. Won't send you anywhere.
You can tell. You live in Chapel Allerton as well, though, Khadija, don't
I'm
you?
just at the bottom, yeah, just after the necklace.
And you've got like a special sticker as well, I think, for Calvary's art spaces.
Oh God, yeah. So I hear. I'm only informed after these facts, you know. I'm not. I usually get a message saying, "Oh, we've done a sticker." But yeah, you mentioned the owl. Now that owl was called. That project was called Talking Statues.
Yes.
And it was led by Leeds Playhouse, and it was actually an original project that came out of, I think, out of Chicago, somewhere in the United States. They've done it in Chicago, they've done it in Washington, and then they've done that same project in London and brought it to Leeds, where we see all these statues and they're all historical and they all have a story. But what happens if the statue could speak, and as writers, if we gave it a new voice and a narrative? So there was myself. Oh God, there's a range of poets from Yorkshire that were really heavily involved in that program. So there's one based on the Town Hall Lion. There's the statues in I think it's Prince Albert, and then there's one near the statues of the women near the Leeds train station. But I was given the owl, and I decided that the owl in Millennium Square would see so much things happening, concerts and events, people working, people coming and going from the museum and the theatre and the civic hall. But this owl would be an old Caribbean woman, because old Caribbean women are very nosy. They're very nosy. Whenever I call my mother and I want to give her a little bit of gossip, she knows already. I'm like, how do you know? You haven't even left your home. How do you know? And I realized that their children will tell them something, or somebody will tell, and then they phone each other. They're still very old school, the home telephone, phone calls, they sit and have a conversation, and she knows everything. So that, anyway, the owl would be an old Caribbean woman that would just sit there and be very, very nosy and observe. But she would also out the man who was kissing a woman the week before and now went to meet his fiance. So she would out him. Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Juicy gossip. I love it.
Yeah. So that's what the owl talks about. She's very, and then I can't remember who actually was the narrator, because I was asked to write, and then the narration was given to all these different famous people, and I just don't remember the lady's name.
Oh, I can't remember. I thought it would be you. I was hoping for your voice to come out booming at me in the middle of City Square. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember. No, fantastic work as always. Because so that's like writing becomes fun and playful, doesn't it, for you as well?
Fun and playful, and that's what I think. If we can give speech to inanimate objects as well as living objects, as well as beings, if we can make space to allow people to express themselves through narrative, through their own stories, how wonderful would that be? Just giving everybody the space and making it safe, that they feel that they can express themselves. But also, how can we create this trail of storytelling without me as a poet or feel the writer being present, but the voice is there, and it becomes something that we can enjoy, we can play with the ideas. Because the owl, as far as I was concerned, could have been a very wise and serious owl. And I thought, no, make it fun, make it playful, let that owl relate to how we know how people are. We all love a bit of gossip. You know, I'm from an old school where, you know, the women used to hang out their washing in the backyard and they'd have conversations over the wall about, did you hear about so-and-so down the road? You know, I come from that and I absolutely love it, because when you don't see so-and-so down the road for a long time, it is a cause of concern. So it's actually a caring community as well. You care. You gossip, but you care. and it's fun. It's fun in that particular way. And so that's what I do as a writer, that I really excavate these kind of hidden narratives and just bring them to the forefront.
I love the fact that it's quite different to, like, for those who know Millennium Square, it's a big, vast, old concrete. Is it concrete? I don't know. It's a big, old, vast space in front of Leeds Civic Hall. And then you've got the Leeds Museum and the Leeds General Infirmary, and then the Town Hall and the carriage works. It's a very civic space, isn't it? A very sort of,
yeah,
at times a bit austere, you know, so it hasn't got the events and things on it. It can be quite a big space. And I guess, yeah, I feel tumbleweeds might be going across that space. Well, but the perspective of someone who's, like, you know, cheeky, curious, nosy is not what you expect in that space either. Like you say, it would typically be a wise owl, wouldn't it?
Exactly. And the owl shows that wisdom of giving you, at least in the first instance, some narrative, some history about the square. So just as you mentioned, the museum, the town hall, the civic hall in itself. So, and the fact that Leeds, and it's near this canal, it's not so far from the canal. So this canal was this place of busyness of trade, as is now Millennium Square, this busyness of fleeting feet passing each other. And as we pass each other, do we notice or do we not notice what's happening? And that square is, and like you said, you know, Emma, that square is, you would hope that square is used every day, but it's not. It's used every day as a gateway to get to somewhere, to get to the infirmary, to get to work, you know, to get to the bars and the theatre and the museum. And then there's moments where it's filled because it's a concert, or if we remember back, it was so packed because Nelson Mandela was coming, and there was such energy and such greatness happening there at that time. And I think actually that's probably my most earliest memory of that square being used in that particular way to celebrate. And I realized that the Civic Hall was also a place where you could be given the key to the city. You know, so I learned so much in that time. And so when I thought about how would I write it, I thought, how can I bring all this narrative in without making it boring? How can I make it Leeds a little bit exciting? And I think you remember this of me, Emma, in numerous meetings, 2023, when I would throw around this, can we be braggadocious? Can Leeds be braggadocious? Can we really claim our bragging rights? Because we're so reserved, aren't we? You know, we're champions, we love it. You know, we champion the city, but we don't champion it outside of those meeting rooms. Do you know what I mean? We talk about it, but outside of that, when I travel internationally and I come back, I want to say, you know, I met somebody and they knew where Leeds was. I'd always have to do the description that, well, it's near to Manchester. And they go, oh yeah, we know Manchester. And I want people to go, yeah, we know Leeds. It's got these two major universities that host international students. It's got a big, you know, the biggest teaching hospital in Europe. But most of all, it's so famous for art and dance and greenery. And we have all these parks. I love the fact that children can play in the streets still in Leeds. We still have those wonderful back streets where, and my back street, the kids are out there playing. You know, I know what time it is when it's a half term and the summer holidays, because I can just hear these feet of children running up and down in the back street, playing cricket and football and riding their bikes, and their parents going, don't go too far. And kids crying with snotty nose, crying kids because they've fallen over. It's such a beautiful sound of joy and youth and laughter. And I think I wanted to mention that because recently I've been doing these accountability writing workshops where I begin to think about where I live and how I can write my environment. And there is this blackberry bush in my back. It's not in my backyard, it's actually in my back street, but the family live opposite me. And the woman that used to live next door to this family she's a Caribbean woman. Maybe I told you, all Caribbean women, they're nosy, you know, they've got a lot to say in the most fun and beautiful and exciting ways. And they make you laugh. And she'd call me and she'd say, do you know the people that live next door? And I said, but they're your neighbours for years. She said, I should ask them to cut down the blackberry bush because it's too wild. And it reminds her of Jamaica living in the bush. It's too wild. Tell them to hack it back. And I thought, they're not my neighbours. And I quite actually like the blackberry bush and its wildness and its out of hand sprawling through the street. Because what it does is that it brings all these children to pick. And it brings the birds and it brings the bees. Anyway, they hacked back the bush. And then a year later, she moved anyway. And she moved and they allowed the bush to grow back wild again. And it's even more wilder than it was before. And every time I go out into my backyard, the kids are out there with their balls, you know, and they're grabbing stools from their home and they're trying to climb and pick these blackberries. And I realized the ball never gets home because they've eaten all the blackberries and their faces are covered in blackberry juice. And then there's this man, elderly gentleman, that walks through the back street as a shortcut to get to the paper shop. And I know this because on his way back, he's usually got a Yorkshire Evening Post and 4 cans of Strongbow cider. Every day, Yorkshire Evening Post, Strongbow cider, 4 of them. And he stops and he picks the cherries, the blackberries for a while. He eats them and he walks off. And I says, what joy and fun. How is this bush feeding so many people in the street with fruit, flesh? And look how the birds are coming and the birds are being fed and the bees are hovering and everybody's enjoying. And the street is covered with blood, black blood berry crushed into the ground for the ones that have fallen. And I just think it's so wonderful. And I'm not going to ask the neighbours across the street to hack back that blackberry bush, because I actually, for the first time last year, picked berries from them and really enjoyed them and said to people when they were coming down my street to say a social distance wave to me, pick some berries, they're so sweet, and enjoy them. So that's a story I wanted to share with you all.
Honestly,
More.
Peter, I could listen to you all day long. I think your voice should be like permeating all the spaces around Leeds. Just with your stories, or the stories that you think are worth sharing, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that being able to just wander past a bit of bleak land and hear the story of the blackberry bush, what would that make you go off and do yourself in your part of the city?
Yeah.
Or somewhere else? It's absolutely beautiful. What is key to the city? What would you do if you had them? If they were yours?
If I had the key to the city, I'd open
Yeah.
all the doors and I'd open all the doors and allow young people, adults, the elderly to run free. If you're in your Zimmer, let's get on your Zimmer and run free through the museum, through these buildings, and really explore the history. And actually, because we live in this city where don't touch, just look and don't touch. We raise children, at least in my time when I was being raised, children should be seen and not heard. You know, we do that, and then we retire the elderly and tell them to sit down and get some rest because they've done their bit. And we don't really support the elderly to come out and play. You know, we think they're going to get too tired and exhaust themselves. And actually what we're doing is that we're preparing them for their death. You know, we are. Sit down now, you've retired, you know, and we're almost saying, sit there, you've done everything now, leave it to us. And we're saying, get ready to die. And I just don't believe that at all. I think, my mother's 81. When the pandemic hit, a few months into the pandemic, she kept on saying she wanted to go out. And I was like, go out where? She said, oh, no, I just need to come out of the house and get some fresh air. So I said, well, let's sit in the garden. She was like, it's not enough. And she wants to go to town. She wants to go to the market. She didn't walk very well. She walks with a walking stick. And I was trying to explain, she couldn't imagine it, that there was nobody in the city centre. She just couldn't imagine this at 81. And this is someone that arrived in 1962 from Jamaica and has been here ever since and had 5 children and has known this city centre. She lives right near the city centre. She lives Lovell Park, so she's a hop, skip and a jump from Morrison's, She just couldn't imagine that this, as you said very nicely, tumbleweed falling down the streets. And so we had to just get her in the car and let her see that there was nobody there. And then that's when she really believed that, not that there was a pandemic, but actually that it was very serious. She ought to stay indoors, at least for her safety, And she'd have this thing where, oh, God, I made it when I've lived my life, or anything else is a bonus that I can do and I can see. But she's been really, we've been really careful with her. And we've taken her out a couple of times to the park because we all need fresh air. And so if I was given, to your question, the key to the city, I'd say let's play in the civic hall, let's play in the museum, let's touch and see, but don't break. Let's go through the archives. Let's all create theatre outside. Yeah, theatre that doesn't need any direction, but it's so organic that it is just what it is, And let's just love and applaud and just celebrate each other, because we just don't do that,
You know what you're making me think is go wild. The talk of the bush.
Yeah.
And a bit like Sarah's background in her. I don't know if you can see Sarah here. But that sense of unfurling, taking up more space, creating this kind of abundance of noise and colour, and I probably think we constrain ourselves, don't we? So like your whole, my nan used to call it the God's waiting room. She was addicted to Baileys by the end of her time.
Baileys.
Yeah, Baileys drinks.
Wow.
She called it "Oh, be joyful."
Yeah, I love Baileys.
She called it what?
"Oh, be joyful."
Amazing.
Was what Baileys was called for my nan. Yeah. And I think our nans and our elders have such a brilliant way of infusing us, don't they? Like actually giving us something that we can kind of take spirit from. Yeah. And there's some lovely projects in Birmingham about abuelas, so how do we celebrate and connect with our elders rather than this thing that we do constantly, which is separate ourselves from each other.
Yeah, we separate. And could you imagine us just throwing up this big kite and telling our elders, just let's just kind of get you under that kite and let you kind of just feel free and let's bring you out. I just know my mother talks about her childhood so much, about play. She's born in Jamaica, and she was born in Kingston, Jamaica, so the capital, but her grandmother lived in the hills. And I had the privilege in 2019 to eventually find that place in the hills. Because let me tell you, don't ask any Caribbean person directions, honey. Because you're not going to get a left or right. You have to watch the hands, right? They go, just go down so, and go so, and go up so, until you see a mango tree. And when you see the mango tree, go down so. And when you go down so, turn like this. This was the directions I got to find my great-grandmother's house. I was to go up so. But the problem was I was speaking to my uncle on the phone, so I couldn't see the hand directions. There was no hand direction. So I had to go up so until I see a church. And he remembered the name of the church. So at least he gave me the name of the church. And when I see the church, I go down so. Yeah. And when I go down so, I keep on walking so. Everything's so. You keep on walking so till you see till you see a barred house. A barred house means a wooden house. Till you see a barred house. But the barred house is not there anymore because the hurricane blew it down. But that's where the house is.
Dramatic. I like that. One of the challenges you were going to give me is direct to me.
Right, okay.
So you could try doing it like just so.
Are you near the graveyard?
I'm now near Chapel Allerton Park, and I'm just going to go to. Oh, I'm out of breath. I'm fit today for some reason. I'm going up there to Chapel Allerton Spaces seed swap. So they've made this fantastic.
Wow, that's beautiful. What's that?
Kind of shelving unit, and people can put their own. Isn't it great?
That's wonderful.
Jane would be proud of that, wouldn't you, Jane? Is that good workmanship, do you think, there?
Show it again, Claire.
You see?
Come on. Oh, look at that. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a brilliant thing.
Spaces.
So this is Chapel Allerton Spaces, and they're just fantastic. They do so much stuff for the community around here.
What a brilliant thing that is.
Now, what is Jane making? What are you like in the work? Jane, what are you up to?
I am just... Hello, Khadija. It's so lovely to see you, Khadija.
My darling.
All I am doing is I am simply turning this scratty piece of wood. You can see it's all dirty and manky. It's just come off my wood pile outside. But if you look on the other side, it's going to be a beautiful colour now. I've all just planed that up. It doesn't show up well in the video. It's a beautiful pink colour. So it's a little bit of larch, and I'm making a tool holder to put my garden fork and spade and stuff on outside. So I'll attach this maybe in half an hour if I get it finished to the outside of my shed, put my tools on it. That's what I'm making today.
So amazed. Listen, I didn't even know you could do any of that, Jane.
Well, yeah. I'm in my pride and joy, Khadija. I'm in my workshop.
Wow.
I am very, very happy in here.
That's amazing.
Do you think you could show us your seed roof, Jane, at some point?
I will definitely. Not this second, because it is chucking it down outside right now. But yeah, if the showers are going over, I will. I'll get the steps out and show you in a bit.
Amazing. And Khadija, I'm very conscious of the fact that we've not introduced Sarah to everybody properly this morning. Now, Sarah was on our last Radio Funtime show, I believe it was, just before the elections.
I don't see Sarah. So where is
she's sitting right from the dogs.
I'm right here in a really messy room.
Sarah.
Hi, Kanisha. It's great to meet you. I loved all those stories you were just telling us and all of those amazing ideas. I'm also an artist myself, and really, really interested in all the things you were talking about. And I kind of want to use, how do I use story to our advantage here to reconnect my community that's feeling a little bit unheard, I guess, or left behind. And I just think it's because we're not using our creative tools enough to get it out there. So this is wonderful. And I didn't know who you were until this, but I'm wearing this t-shirt that says, their story matters. So I quite like the crossover there. That's awesome. And talking about elders as well, one of my many jobs, because I have many jobs, is I work at Lab for Living, which is a research centre at Sheffield Hallam, and we got like a grant to explore what the 100-year life looks like, because obviously from anybody that's born now, technically, assuming everything goes all right, is likely to live to 100 years old now. But everything that's structured in our life is definitely not for 100 years. So maybe like 60 to 70. And that's why we're struggling with social care, and people are really isolated when they get old. Yeah. And you know, that's why a lot of people think once they get to a certain age they can't do anything anymore, but they can. So my nan just died around about 2 months ago now, and or a little bit less, and she definitely, like, in her soul, sort of started to give up maybe like 5 years ago, and it was just like she could totally do all the stuff, but she just kept being like, I can't do that, I'm 80, I can't do that, I'm 82. And you're like, well, you can. Like, the only reason you're saying you can't do that is because of your age. So we're really, really trying to look at how, you know, how do we start to do things differently and teach kids at a young age as well, that you know, keep on being curious and wild, and keep on moving. So I'm kind of hoping to do that in my role as a counselor now, counselor Sarah Smith technically, but I'm Smiz in as an office.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Right now, or some form of like celebratory, because when we last saw you, you were in the midst of getting, you know, going out there, doing all the campaigning for art and creativity and community. And we just need more and more people who are taking a bold, I think it is bold, because it's not an easy place to step into the world of party politics, is it? I find it easier to be on the outside, trying to do whatever I do. The contemplation of going into that world is like, oh, no. So fair play to you, and more like you as well, because I think you'll help other people see that it doesn't have to be the way it always has been.
That's it for me. I think it's so important that we see younger people getting into politics. I think politics has such negative baggage with it as well, and not least because of the current government and their shenanigans. So by you know, just the title politician now, you know, I've seen random people on Facebook saying we're all just corrupt, and it is quite hard to like not feel personally attacked by that, because one, I don't even know how to begin to become corrupt, to be honest. Like,
that's exactly what someone who is corrupt would say, though, isn't it?
And I'm just imagining the papers now in the future where it'd be like, Councillor Smith's corruption getting everybody in Adwick and Woodlands, you know, healthy lives and creative, like, art shows or something.
Spend all the money on art.
But you bribed everybody with cake and exercise.
I kind of seeing Claire run around makes me feel like I'm back out leafleting again. It just makes me feel like that, especially she did Dockano Run. That made me, and like when she was like, how do I get in to this garden? That was like all of my life for the past 3 weeks is like, everybody's got such high high gates now, and I'm you can't tell on Zoom, but I'm quite small, so I can't like reach up and get the lock. So I can't like give them a leaflet, and then people are like, you didn't give me a leaflet, and I'm like, I couldn't get in your gate because it's too high.
Well, I'm not very tall myself. I just look tall. People get really surprised when I tell them how tall I am. They're like, no, I thought you was tall. I'm 5'3", and I knocked the half on there because it is about 5'3.5". But I need to own it. I need that half in my life.
I use a half the opposite way around. I'm 45.5, and I'm keeping the half in because it makes me feel like I'm still 13 a bit.
Yeah.
Lisa's been chiming in the comments. I don't know if you're feeling a little shyer today than normal, Lisa, but you were talking about working in a council. Here you go, worked in a company that worked with councils once. You could have fancy biscuits as a snack, but cake was literally frowned upon as a bribery risk in meetings. What? Say more on this.
Yeah, so if you were catering for a customer meeting, you could have tea and biscuits, but as soon as it was cake, it was like a catered event. there was like a tipping point and you weren't able to, if you brought cake, it was seen as trying to bribe people, basically.
Wow.
But fancy biscuits are okay. Fox's biscuits, that's about as high as you can go.
What happens with the Jaffa? Where does the Jaffa sit?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they're very good for meetings though, because you need a packet each.
I'm also a radiotherapist, so I trained at St James in Leeds. So I lived in Leeds for 2.5 years, and yeah, like often they'd be like, "Don't eat cakes from patients," because they'd always make us cakes. Because they could put like, you know, illegal substances in them. And so they were like, don't eat them, because apparently there's like an issue where patients bring like weed cakes to health staff. But we ate the cakes, so just put it out there.
But did you get a result, is the question.
No, exactly. I wish there wasn't.
Wow. That's really interesting. By the way, Lisa, I'm a biscuit person. You can buy you're not even bribing me. I'll just be giving you like the look like you bought biscuits, honey. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
I love
What's your
biscuits.
favourite biscuit, Khadija?
Do you know, I love shortcake. I love shortcake, shortbread biscuits. But I love like oatmeal and raisin. Things like that, you know, those good chunky cookies that are soft and buttery. I've got a real issue. I've got issue with biscuits and cake. I pretend I don't buy them, but they're in the cupboard somewhere. And then I said, "Who are you hiding them from?"
Yourself.
There's only you and your son, right? And are you hiding them from yourself? So I decided that I was going to buy a nice big biscuit jar, a clear jar, and just put them in there. So whenever I go in the kitchen, I see them. I'm like, today I'm having a jammy dodger.
Nice. I did. Have you ever watched Sunday Brunch? They do King of the Tin and send things into the Crumb Dungeon. And I did it I hosted a call with some friends, and as a thing that we could talk about that wasn't how terrible the last year has been, it's like, what is your King of the Tin and what biscuit would you put in the Crumb Dungeon? So I've got a spreadsheet with everyone's answers on it. And I think there was maybe 20 people voted throughout the night, and the top one that got the most crowns was the milk chocolate hobnob, and then shortbread was second.
Yeah.
And at the bottom we had pink wafers and rich tea biscuits.
Rich tea biscuits are okay. It's like it's the last resort for me.
It's the one that's left in the tin because no one really wants it, and it's not unpleasant. It's just not a treat.
It's like it's the last one, you know. Like, okay, is that what's left? I'll have it, but it's not. I don't even buy it.
I quite like the danger with the rich tea though. Like if you dunk it, like they've no resilience, have they? Show them some moisture, just like, I'm getting in your tea.
Yeah.
Didn't the rich tea biscuit last the longest when you dip it? Like they did a research thing on it. So
really,
on your biscuit, it's got to be a rich tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because people are not dunking shortbread, because that
yeah, it just falls off.
I have to say, Khadija, we'd be like best biscuit buddies, I think, because shortbread's not my favorite at all. So if we got a pack of biscuits, we'd have the favorites each, you see.
Yeah. I'll eat your biscuits as well. Trust me. I'll eat mine first and go, how long is she taking to eat her biscuit?
So biscuits and cheese.
Oh, and cheese. Oh, Emma, stop now. Just cheese.
Which is your favourite biscuit to go with cheese?
You got to have a good cheddar cheese, yeah, with a shortbread. It just goes together. Oh, really?
Shortbread?
Yeah, shortbread, cheddar cheese biscuits. I think I put myself into becoming lactose intolerant because I never was when I was younger.
Oh no, the cheese shop's closed.
I'm so sorry.
Disaster.
I know, I should have researched this for today because Khadija, we were going to try and get the stinkiest cheese possible from George and Joseph, but they're closed. So now I'm thinking I could go to Aldi and try and find something there, but it's not quite the same.
Okay.
Are you going to get there in 9 minutes? Because Khadija could tell you what cheese to get that would go with biscuits.
Yeah, I'm on it.
I'm gonna get
Aldi in 9.
I'm gonna get the stinkiest cheese I can find in my house.
Go on then, you go get your stinkiest cheese. Anybody else got any cheese? We all have a sort of cheese ending to this fun time.
I'll get one. Hold on.
Okay, Jane, are you going to get some cheese? Have you got cheese in your house?
I've got cheese downstairs.
Limited cheese in my house, but I'm behind schedule, so I'm going to try and finish rather than get cheese.
Okay, Sarah, have you got any cheese in yours? Do you eat cheese?
I do eat cheese, but all I've got is Philadelphia. Does that count? I mean, it's more.
I need a cheesy moment at the end of today's show, so we will need 1 minute. Jane and Claire, you can hold the fort in conversation. If we all go and get our cheese and come back,
We will hold the fort.
yeah,
Do that. Yeah.
chatting so that the radio listeners, of which there are 50,000, don't feel disappointed by the lack of talk.
Well, Claire, to back up your cheese shop disaster, I won't lie, it hasn't been going well in the workshop today.
Oh no, what's happened? What's the issue?
It started off very well, all looking lovely, planed up my piece of wood nicely, and then I thought, I'll get the special router machine out and I'll put a nice bevel down the edge. Started off fine, then it's got a little cutter on it, and I hadn't tightened it enough, and it slipped, and it gouged a big bit out my wood, so I almost had to start again. And now I'm like, can I make this thing essentially in 15 minutes? And it's gone horribly wrong, man. Gone horribly wrong.
Let's see. Can we see it? Or
You will in a minute. Hang on. Well, you can't see the bit that went horribly wrong, because then what I did was I took it to the saw and I chopped it off.
God! But this is what making is, isn't it? It doesn't need to be perfect straight away.
No, it does not. And also making whilst listening is
It is. I have to say my plant art did not go to plan either. I got a butterfly in the end, but not the. I thought it would look exactly like the plant would, but no. When you're squishing something with a hammer, it tends to squirt.
I think my makeup hasn't quite gone according to plan either.
I think you look fantastic. What was the plan there?
You match up where I thought the brush was going to go versus where it was going. Like, I can't do this looking at a screen and work out which, if that's my eye or that's my eye. It's very weird trying to apply makeup watching yourself on Zoom.
It's like the back to front opposite type thing. And like, trying to host as well.
Eye, and I kept getting that one. I was like, how those Instagram people do it, with their...
they're professional. I've made it to the cheese aisle, and people probably want me to get out of the way. My favourite is Wensleydale and like digestive, but I also love it on a waffle, a potato waffle.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's really nice.
Dirty talk.
I am dirty.
Do you know what I like? You've just passed them, Claire. Do you know those cheese rolls? And they've got one with garlic. They've got in Aldi's. They've got one with. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sarah?
I do. They're like a
rule.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my God! Get that on some crackers, and not.
I'm gonna try it.
Crackers. You've got to get nice crackers,
What flavour is that? Oh, pineapple. I've not had that one.
Oh, the pineapple is so divine.
Get the fruit out of my cheese.
You're not a fruit cheese lover.
Well, I could maybe handle a bit of cranberry in a Wensleydale. But
cranberry in Wensleydale.
I think I've got a general issue with pineapple. I don't think it's designed to be eaten. It's like the armadillo of fruit. Leave it be. It doesn't want to be eaten.
Well, there's a whole debate about pineapple going on pizza. Does it belong on pizza or not? And I'm like, it belongs on pizza.
It does belong on pizza. It's delicious.
Oh, hang on. Let's have a poll here.
Right,
Hands up if you think... Hands up or poll So how many for pineapple on pizza? I'm a no.
I'm a yes.
1, 2 yeses,
Yeah.
3 yeses.
Yes.
Lisa, are you a yes of pineapple? No. Okay, so we've got 3 no's. Jane, you're the deciding vote.
I'm a yes on pineapple on pizza.
Yes, Jane.
My whole family is pineapple.
Jane,
Oh
you
my
may need
goodness,
to
what was that noise? Sounded very
Claire, are you
industrial.
Sorry.
Are you in Aldi,
Pardon?
Claire? Are you in Aldi?
I'm in Aldi.
Can you
I
go to the
picked
middle
up
aisle?
That's
the middle
lovely,
aisle.
that.
Here we go.
Let's see what's in the middle aisle of Aldi this week. What have we got? Floor mats?
Flooring.
Ooh,
Floor mats.
I quite like those.
Let's see those floor mats then. Oh God, shopping online.
This is the content I'm here for.
You get
Yeah.
6 foam mats for 10 quid, 9.99.
Let's see how big they are. Oh wow.
I mean, they're the size of my arm. Bad camera skills now.
This is so exciting. I haven't been to the middle aisle in Aldi for ages. What else is on this week?
Well, I feel like I want to bounce into these cushions, but they're for pets.
Do it. Jump
So
in.
maybe
Jump
not.
in.
Get in there, Claire.
No, I'll get. This is my local. I actually need this, a bicycle cleaning kit, so that's quite good. Solar lamp. These are quite cool. If a bit plasticky, maybe they're very plasticky,
Oh,
but I like it. They're nice.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, behind it. What's that?
An ice bucket table. Amazing.
Oh,
Oh, we've got one of those. Not quite the same as that model, but it is quite good.
so you
Yeah,
put
I'm
the
up for that.
at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's quite difficult to use it as a table because as
it?
soon as you start using it as an ice bucket, you want to keep opening it up.
Yeah.
So it's like you can either use it as a table or an ice bucket at once. You can't really use it for both.
It's not one of those things that should have really stuck together. Have a nice
Yeah.
bucket and have a table.
Yeah.
More pineapple themed bits and bobs.
Oh,
Candle.
that looks nice.
Like it. Elephant planter. Oh, I love this.
And the middle aisle's the best.
What's the most random thing we can find?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have they got tape in? Sometimes they have really good sort of gaffer tape in the middle aisle.
Oh, don't buy.
Not seen it.
I don't know if you know about the story about the Gorilla Glue and the woman's hair. Do you know that story?
No.
No.
Claire just passed some Gorilla
Just
Glue.
hang out with each other.
Well, there's this lady in the United States, right? And there's a hair glue for your hair when you're wearing extensions or whatever you're doing. And then there's another hair glue that actually, if you want your hair to stay flat, you put this hair glue, but it's not actually glue. They just call it like hair glue because it stays flat. Well, she must have run out of this hair glue to make her hair stay flat in a ponytail, stay down since she didn't have any fizz. And she went and used Gorilla Glue on her hair, and she couldn't wash it out. She couldn't anything. It was on the news and everything. It was on the news because she had to go to hospital and they had to put some kind of chemical substance to release the glue from her scalp. She lost a lot of her hair, and then she decided that she was going to sue the company of Gorilla Glue because it never said for one moment you couldn't put it in your hair. It's a truth. I think you can still find it on the internet. It's a very recent, like maybe a few months ago, a story. So every time I see Gorilla Glue, I think it's not for your hair. Even if I know it's not for
Check it out.
children.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Not for your hair.
And I think, have you got...
Time's up.
No.
Jane.
What? Say again.
Don't put it in your hair.
Not going to put it in my hair. Not going to put it in my hair.
I think they have to now write on the label something. I think she won the case in the United States. I think
Wow.
she's the case.
It doesn't just say don't be an idiot.
Yeah. It's not for sticking down your hair into a ponytail.
Oh, bless her, bless her.
I'm going to use a Glade to wash my hair with next. Anti-dandruff. Must make my hair smell nice, right? So the most random thing is a sock dryer.
Sock dryer.
A sock dryer to dry your socks on.
Right.
That's the most random thing today. It's not that random. Like I know there was like a kayak at one point.
When you say sock dryer, is it electric? Is it manual? What is it?
No, because it's just this.
Is that what that is?
Oh, disappointing, isn't it?
I've seen that in houses. I never knew what it was.
I'm not. I think, do you sandwich things? I'm not. Oh, there's two of them. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even know how the socks go on there. Anyway.
I think you need to find a pair of socks in Aldi's if possible and demonstrate how the socks go onto the socks dryer.
This is like QVC, Claire.
Look at these minky 2 soak ups. Antibacterial. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm designed for that job.
Do you know what would be awesome? I think if Rich could just ad-lib a new song based on some of the key themes that came out of today's chat. Could you do that, Rich?
What?
No? Wow.
Say what? I've got this for the. That's my graveyard music. A bit spooky. A bit like a game as well. I kind of like bit like running away, knocking on the door. I was playing away with that.
Introduced me to God. What was it called? Peer Gynt or something today? The Norwegian song. Do you know it? It's the song of the King of the Mountains. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
And I can remember the Shearing's King of the Road advert. Is that what you're thinking?
Music based on a Norwegian story by some Norwegian person, anyway, written in Danish. Someone escaping the King of Mountains' lair. And it's pretty good. You'll do 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 do. It's fast, isn't it? That one. Yes, that one.
Copyright infringement on this one? What do you think?
Only if it's out of copyright, it's 1700 and something, I believe. So we might be all right. I might just make that up. So we are closing towards it's actually we've gone past our 12 o'clock curfew, and it means that Jane has to show us what she's made. Right
Okay.
now, Jane.
Well, I am beginning. This is my second go, isn't it, at making something in an hour's Zoom whilst listening and talking, and it's quite hard. So, however, from the jaws of defeat, I have snatched victory.
Woo!
I
That's fantastic.
I just need to go and attach it to my shed now. You can't appreciate it on the Zoom, but I'd just like to point out it's got a delightful little bevel running down the edge here. It's been done with a hand plane from this little rough side to this little nice peachy larch side, and it's ready to go and have my fork and my spade attached.
Your fork and your spade. Woo! Jane, you are amazing. And it just occurred to me that maybe next time you should be making a sock dryer.
Yeah, I reckon you do a better job than Aldi.
I should have stuck to the peg.
Claire, what have you got there, Claire?
So I've got rosemary savoury crackers to go with my pineapple and almond roulette or whatever it is, and little mini baby cucumbers. I thought I'd do my shopping at the same time as a radio show.
And have you checked the stinkiness of the cheese, or is it just are you just basing it on the plastic?
Yeah, it smells plasticky.
But can I say that the stinkiness of my cheese that I went to get is a blue Stilton, yeah, and the strength is 4.
Oh, out of what?
That's
Well, it gives you a strength, so that means it tells you that is it a 2, how strong it is. I'm not sure the strongest, but this is strong. So number 4 is quite.
Okay.
It's a blue Stilton from Sainsbury's, you know.
I've got a Gruyere, which is also a 4.
There you
Nice.
go.
We both got 4s. What did you get, Sarah?
So I don't have very posh cheese in my house, so I've got Philadelphia, which is neither, but I did bring a packet of crisps that I ate last night. I bought a whole box of them really cheap off of eBay because they're out of date, and they've become really potent in cheesiness. So I had those.
I love squares.
I love squares
You-
and Philadelphia cheese.
Oh, I want some squares now.
eBay. I got a box of them, 36 of them for £5. So it's all right. And they were only like, a month out of date, and they taste great, like better almost, but really potent.
Brilliant.
So we give Ruth a 4 as well then. What about Lisa? What did you get?
Oh, I was just having a smell of them because they're all wrapped in paper in the drawer. So this one is a Comté, which is nutty, but actually not very strong. This one is a smoked English brie, which has been in the fridge so long it's getting its own mould on the rind. Oh, that's pretty right. It's quite strong and smoky because it's a smoked thing. And this one it's a mature cheddar with pickled onion in it.
Oh,
Ooh,
And
oh, beautiful.
that is strong. Also, interestingly, because I think we got these for Christmas and they're all individually wrapped. We're talking about biscuits for cheese, and it's a fancy cracker place. The Fine Cheese Co. has crackers for artisan cheese, 10 individual servings. So we've got chive crackers for cheese, and they say this is good with brie, olive oil and sea salt, which is good with cheddar, and rosemary ones, which is good with goat's cheese, apparently. But they're just all nice. They're fancy crackers and they're delicious.
well, I think it's brilliant that we're giving ourselves license to eat cheese for lunch before anything else. I mean, this has got to be the format for future shows, isn't it? Like something that we wouldn't normally eat before lunch.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So on that, shall we? I'm afraid that it's now 12:10, so my timekeeping is shite as usual. So all that it remains really is to give each of the keys to the city. That seems like a simple task really. We need to help Sarah with anything she asks us for as she goes about the donks, and whatever you need, we're there for you, Sarah. Rich, you gonna play us out?
Oh,
Claire,
my
what are we doing
days.
next week, by the way, before Rich plays us out? What are we doing, Claire? Have we got an idea for what's happening next week?
I think I'd like to visit Holbeck. There seems to be some good stuff going on in Holbeck, like Slung Low, and I don't know, they do some dancing or something. So that need to
You're
get our
going to Holbeck
Holbeck
next
people.
week, and then I think
Yeah.
Khadija would like to show you some sites as well, wouldn't you, at some point in the future,
Yeah, I definitely would do that. Most definitely.
including the blackberry bush.
Yeah. Just you know what?
Yes,
You can
please.
walk around where I live. We've got stories. You
Yes.
know, I can share stories of who did what and where and when.
That's it. That's it. Look, we've got to have some of that over the fence stuff, yeah.
Over the fence.
Over the fence. And Rich has got coronavirus and he's allowed out in a day's time, aren't you?
I'm allowed Monday. I'm not allowed out Tuesday. Tuesday.
Okay.
But
So
it would be
nearly at the
Monday,
end.
but I filled in my thing wrong. I've got to
So
stay
what
an
I've
extra
actually
day
do-
because of
That's
admin.
actually- you can't be seen out now until Tuesday. So
True.
what are you going to play us out to?
I've got a couple of options. I'll let you choose. Right, so we could either have my 8-year-old's new song. We could have the theme tune, which I'm very happy to give you, that I played at the start. You can have that. I'll finish that off and I'll let you have it.
Amazing.
And I think the worst option would be to have me try and improvise a song, which is going to be essentially about how we still don't know what the stinkiest cheese is. I think that'll be the worst option. But I'm your bitch, so you tell me what you want.
Okay, I'm not going to leave this open to me to decide. Someone else can decide which song we're going to leave with.
I think your 8-year-old, I'd love to hear that song.
All right, it's a very sensitive song. It's a song about altruism, so you can have it. There you go.
If I climb this height, then I can see the view and I can see the highest trees. If I climb higher, I will notice that it's so beautiful up here. I can see every mountain clear, 'cause it doesn't really matter about me, just really matters about you. Doesn't really matter about me, just really matters about you.
Awesome.
Beautiful. That got me emotional.
Right.
I know,
Oh, bless you,
stored.
Claire.
That's brilliant.
Awesome.
That should be released. For real.
Available on Bandcamp in the coming days.
Amazing. We should definitely be releasing that, shouldn't we? That song into the world.
Into the ether.
We're going to stick this up on YouTube, and then we're going to try and make some way of putting on some podcasty thing too. And then if you could all just share widely the beauty of today's adventures, and know that we're going to be doing this every Sunday. So surely after exercise and whatever else you do before 11 o'clock, get that done and then get ready for Radio Funtime and spread the word.
Lovely.
Have a good week, everybody.
Thank
See you
you for
soon, lovelies.
coming. It was so nice chatting.
Have a good
Bye.
day.
It was so
Bye,
great to see everyone. Everyone. Bye.